My name is Riley, and I learned that sometimes your worst nightmare happens in your own home, with the person who promised to love you forever. Get out! Go to your family! Brad screamed, shoving me toward the front door. I stumbled, grabbing the doorframe. Brad, please! It's 1 a.m. I'm in my nightgown! I don't care! His face was red with rage. You're a terrible wife. You don't appreciate anything I do. What are you talking about? My voice shook. I just asked why you came home so late again. See? Always nagging, always questioning me. He grabbed my arm roughly. I'm done with this marriage. He pushed me out the door and slammed it behind me. I heard the lock click. I stood on the porch in my thin nightgown, shivering in the November cold. This wasn't the first time Brad had exploded, but it was the first time he'd thrown me out. Riley? A voice called from the house next door. I turned to see Jessica, my neighbor, hurrying across her lawn in her robe. Are you okay? She asked, her eyes wide. I heard yelling. I'm fine, I lied, wrapping my arms around myself. You're not fine. You're barefoot and freezing. She put her arm around me. Come to my house. I should go to my sister's. At 1 a.m.? Come inside first. I'll make tea. In Jessica's warm kitchen, wrapped in a blanket, I finally broke down. How long has this been going on? She asked gently. 6 months, maybe longer. I wiped my eyes. He's changed. He's angry all the time, comes home late, accuses me of things I haven't done. Has he hurt you physically? No, but tonight. I touched my arm where he'd grabbed me. Jessica, I'm scared. That house was my parents' house. They left it to me when they died. Brad and I live there, but it's in my name only. Jessica's expression sharpened. Only your name? Yes. My parents put it in a trust for me. Riley, when did Brad's behavior change? I thought about it. Around the time I inherited the house. We'd been renting before that. I think you need to find out what's really going on. Jessica pulled out her phone. My cousin is a private investigator. Can I call her? Something in her tone made me nod. 3 days later, I sat in a coffee shop with Jessica and her cousin, Detective Lauren Mitchell. Riley, I need to show you something, Lauren said, sliding photos across the table. But it's going to hurt. The first photo showed Brad with a blonde woman. They were kissing. Her name is Heather Collins, Lauren explained. She's a real estate agent. They've been seeing each other for 8 months. My stomach dropped. 8 months? There's more. Lauren showed me another photo of Brad and Heather outside a lawyer's office. They visited a family law attorney 2 months ago. Jessica squeezed my hand. I traced his movements, Lauren continued. He's been telling Heather he's going to divorce you, and that you'll leave the house to him. He's promised her they'll live there together. But the house is mine, I said. He can't have it. Exactly. That's why he's trying to make you leave voluntarily. Lauren leaned forward. Has he suggested you move out? Stay with family? I nodded slowly. He keeps saying I'd be happier at my sister's, that the house has too many sad memories of my parents. He's manipulating you, Jessica said firmly. Lauren pulled out more documents. I also found text messages between Brad and Heather. He's been planning this for months. He thinks if he makes you miserable enough, you'll leave and he can claim abandonment. What can I do? I asked. Fight back strategically. Lauren handed me a business card. This is attorney Sarah Rodriguez. She specializes in cases like yours. I've already briefed her. 2 hours later, I sat in attorney Rodriguez's office. Riley, I've reviewed Detective Mitchell's findings, she said. Your husband is attempting to steal your inheritance through emotional abuse and manipulation. Can he really do that? Not if we act first. She opened a folder. Here's what we're going to do. First, you document everything. Every incident, every threat, every time he comes home late. I can help with that, Jessica added from beside me. I witnessed the night he threw you out. I took photos of you on the porch in your nightgown at 1 a.m. Attorney Rodriguez smiled. Perfect. Second, we file for divorce immediately, citing his adultery and abuse. Third, we get a restraining order based on the physical assault when he grabbed you and threw you out. What about the house? The house stays yours. It's in a trust your parents established. He has no legal claim to it. She pulled out papers. But we need to move fast before he tries something else. What if he won't leave? I asked. That's where the restraining order comes in. He'll be legally required to vacate your property. I took a deep breath. Let's do it.
1 week later, a sheriff's deputy handed Brad the divorce papers and restraining order at our house. My house. I watched through Jessica's window as Brad read the documents on the front porch. He immediately called me. I put it on speaker so Jessica and Attorney Rodriguez could hear. "Riley, what the hell is this?" he shouted. "It's a divorce petition and a restraining order," I said calmly. "You have 24 hours to remove your belongings and vacate my property." "Your property? That's our house!" "Actually, it's my house, from my parents' trust. You were never on the deed." "You can't do this!" His voice cracked. "Where am I supposed to go?" "I don't know, Brad. Maybe to your family?" I couldn't help the sarcasm. "Or maybe Heather Collins has room for you?" Silence. "That's right. I know about Heather. I know you've been planning to steal my house and move her in." "That's insane. Who told you that?" "A private investigator. I have photos of you two together. I have your text messages planning my removal. I have everything." "Riley, baby, listen." "Don't. I also have photos of me standing on the porch in my nightgown at 1 a.m. after you physically threw me out. My neighbor witnessed it." "That was a mistake. I was upset." "You assaulted me and illegally evicted me from my own property. The restraining order is based on that incident plus Detective Mitchell's evidence of your scheme." Attorney Rodriguez gave me a thumbs up. "This is ridiculous," Brad sputtered. "You're overreacting." "I'm protecting myself and my property from a man who's been abusing and manipulating me for months. You have 24 hours, Brad. The sheriff will ensure you comply." I hung up. Through the window, I watched Brad call someone, probably Heather. "He looks panicked," Jessica observed. "Good," I said. 3 months later, I sat in Attorney Rodriguez's office for our final meeting. "The divorce is finalized," she announced, sliding papers across her desk. "Brad gets nothing. No house, no assets from your trust, no alimony." "What about his claim that he contributed to house improvements?" I asked. "Dismissed. He couldn't prove any significant contributions, and the prenup you signed before inheriting protected your separate property." Sarah smiled. "He's walking away with only what he brought into the marriage." Jessica, who'd come with me, squeezed my shoulder. "That's amazing." "There's more," Sarah continued. "Heather Collins dumped him 2 weeks after he moved out." "Really?" I couldn't help feeling satisfied. "Turns out she was only interested in him because she thought he'd have a nice house to offer. When she learned he had nothing, she moved on to someone else." "Karma," Jessica said. My phone buzzed. It was Brad calling. Again. I declined it. "He's been trying to reach you?" Sarah asked. "Every day for a month. He leaves voicemails begging me to talk to him." "Want me to send a cease and desist?" she offered. "Please." There was a knock on Sarah's office door. Her assistant poked her head in. "Riley, there's a Brad Thompson in the lobby asking to see you," she said. "Should I call security?" Sarah stood. "Absolutely. He's violating the restraining order." "Wait." I stood too. "Let him come up.
I want witnesses present when I tell him exactly how I feel. 5 minutes later, Brad was escorted in by security. He looked terrible. Unshaven, wrinkled clothes, dark circles under his eyes. "Riley, please, just hear me out," he begged. "You have 5 minutes," I said coldly, "and security stays." "I made a terrible mistake. I was stupid. I was selfish." He stepped toward me. "But I love you. We can fix this." "Fix this?" I laughed. "You threw me out in my nightgown at 1 a.m. You planned to steal my house. You had an affair for 8 months. I ended things with Heather. She meant nothing." "She ended things with you when you had nothing to offer her," I corrected. "Let's be honest about what happened." "I'll do anything, counseling, whatever you want." He reached for my hand. I pulled back. "There is nothing you can offer me. You showed me exactly who you are." "Everyone makes mistakes." "Mistakes? Brad, you orchestrated an 8-month plan to emotionally abuse me into abandoning my inheritance." I stood my ground. "That wasn't a mistake. That was calculated cruelty." Sarah stepped forward. "Mr. Thompson, you're violating a restraining order. I suggest you leave now." "Riley, please." Tears ran down his face. "Where am I supposed to go? I lost my apartment lease. Heather won't talk to me. My friends won't return my calls." "That sounds like consequences," Jessica interjected. "Maybe you should have thought about that before cheating and abusing your wife." "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." I thought at him, really looked at him. This man who'd promised to love me, who'd systematically broken me down to steal my home. "Your apology means nothing," I said flatly. "You're only sorry you got caught and lost everything. If your plan had worked, you'd be living in my house with Heather right now, and I'd be broken and homeless." "That's not true." "It's completely true. You're not sorry for hurting me. You're sorry for yourself." I turned to security. "Please escort him out. If he contacts me again, file harassment charges." "Riley, no! Don't do this!" Brad's voice grew desperate as security grabbed his arms. "Goodbye, Brad. I hope every single day you remember that your greed and cruelty cost you everything." They dragged him out, his protest echoing down the hallway. Sarah closed the door. "Well handled." "I actually feel sorry for him," Jessica said. "I don't," I replied. "He made his choices. Now he lives with them." Sarah handed me the final divorce decree. "You're officially free. The house is secured in your name. His name is removed from all associated documents, and he has no legal claim to anything." "Thank you, Sarah, for everything." "Thank Detective Mitchell. She built the case." Sarah walked me to the door. "What's next for you?" "I'm redecorating the house, making it mine again," I smiled. "And I'm taking Jessica on a vacation to celebrate." Jessica hugged me. "You deserve it." That night, I stood in my parents' house, my house, and felt truly at peace. Brad had tried to take everything from me, using fear and manipulation. Instead, he lost everything and taught me exactly how strong I could be. Have you ever watched someone's greed destroy their own life while you reclaimed yours? Sometimes refusing to be broken is the best revenge of all. Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.